Today is a redo of my first mock draft of the mock draft season. And the reason why I say that is I originally only had picks 1 through 18. I really wanted to focus on the teams who did not make the playoffs. But as time went on, I thought it'd be best to just do a full first round mock draft. So that is what we're doing today. And the Titans are the first pick. And I do think they go quarterback. And there is no consensus on the number one pick at this point in time, which there have been years where it's been a consensus, other years where it hasn't. One of the years at this point right now is we don't have a consensus, but I do think the quarterback is the call. I think they go Cam Ward out of Miami. And I've been impressed with Cam Ward in his past couple seasons, especially last season. And I do feel like he is the best quarterback in this class. Pick number two, the Browns. The smart pick would be Travis Hunter. However, can you really trust the Browns to make this kind of pick? As if you look at the Browns' first round picks in the last 25 years, there's only really two of them where you can say, well, that was a pick that really worked out for them. Myles Garrett and Joe Thomas. So I think they don't make the smartest pick in Travis Hunter, but it's a pick that's still smart. Abdul Carter out of Penn State, and this would be a replacement to Myles Garrett, as Myles Garrett requested a trade earlier this week. So I think they go Abdul Carter here and pass on Travis Hunter. The third pick, the Giants, I think they also go quarterback. I think they go Shedeur Sanders. And the writing's been on the wall for Shedeur Sanders to the Giants, in my opinion, as he was shown, or at least he posted a picture of himself. I don't know what it was, or if his cleats or something were at the Giants on them. And I think it's a foregone conclusion we drafted with the Giants with this third pick. Pick number four, the Patriots. And I was conflicted on this pick. Do they go Travis Hunter or do they go with an offensive tackle to improve their offensive line? You can't really go wrong here. Again, like the Browns at pick two, Travis Hunter is the smartest pick. But if they go off as a tackle, I don't think they can go wrong. But I think they do go an offensive tackle here and pass on Travis Hunter, build protection for Drake May, and they go with Will Campbell out of LSU. The Jaguars pick number five, and the Jaguars, they are completely shocked that Travis Hunter is still on the board at this point, and they don't let him drop any further down the board. They take Travis Hunter right here. And Travis Hunter, I think if he does end up with the Jaguars, it's going to definitely help out Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense. The Raiders with pick six. Now, I really thought I was the only one that had this pick, but I have seen some mock drafts lately. Ashton Jeanty, running back Boise State. And the reason why I think they go Ashton Jeanty here, if I was calling the shots for the Raiders, I would take Ashton Jeanty. And there is a reason why that I do think it's a smart move for the Raiders to do this. One, the quarterback class this season, it's not exactly as hyped up as it has been in years past. Cam Ward, I feel like, is the best bet for a franchise quarterback among these QBs. Plus, the Raiders, they could reach out to see if Russell Wilson is interested in joining forces with Pete Carroll once again, which is what I think may happen. And this is all about just being a respectable franchise again, Seeing all three of the Raiders division rivals making the playoffs, they drafted a generational talent tight end last year in Brock Bowers. This year, they take the best running back in this class, Ashton Jeanty, as they are just trying to build the pieces to become a respectable franchise again. The Jets with pick 7, and they go with what I think is a pretty obvious pick here, Mason Graham out of Michigan. With the Jets hiring Aaron Glenn and his familiarity with his defense, we saw the Lions have success when they drafted Aiden Hutchinson. They're trying to hope history repeats itself with Mason Graham being successful. Pick number 8. The Panthers are on the clock, and I think they simply go best player available. And they go with Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona. As we saw Bryce Young show his full potential once he started the second time after being benched, and he took full advantage of it. And I really do feel like the Panthers be a team to watch out for, especially if they make smart moves in the offseason. The Saints, they draft a corner, Will Johnson of Michigan, to replace Marshawn Lattimore. Even though the Saints, they may have bigger needs at this point, just take the best player on the board. The Bears, they are looking to invest in their offensive line. And this wasn't my original pick, but I think they go Josh Simmons off the tackle Ohio State. As the Bears, they like to improve the offensive line, as Caleb Williams was the most sacked quarterback in the league this season. The 49ers, I think that they are going to give a good pairing for Nick Bosa. And I think they go with James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. That wasn't my original pick in the mock draft that I originally had, but James Pierce Jr., he's somebody that's kind of in and out of the top 10. Some may have him going lower than that, but I think any edge rusher that goes to 49ers already has the potential of success in the league. Pick 12, the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they don't always necessarily address their biggest needs, but I do feel like they need a wide receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. I think they go with Luther Burden the third out of Missouri. I've seen some mock drafts where Luther Burden, he is toward the middle of the first round, toward the end. But I do feel like Luther Burden the third would be a great fit for the Cowboys as they find a complement to CeeDee Lamb. Pick 13, the Dolphins. They look to improve their offensive line, and they go with Kelvin Banks Jr. off the tackle out of Texas. Pick 14, the Colts, they add another target for Anthony Richardson, and they go with the best tight end in this class, Tyler Warren out of Penn State. And Tyler Warren is somebody that has really been going up in people's draft boards throughout the entire season. Seeing how effective Tyler Warren was in Penn State's offense this season, he goes to the Colts at pick 14, and that should really excite Anthony Richardson and the Colts offense as they add yet another target to this offense. The Falcons with pick 15, and we have seen the Falcons address their needs in the offense the last 3 years now. And now they address their defensive needs, and they go with Mykel Williams out of Georgia. I think the Falcons are a little surprised he's still on the board at this point. And Keep the Georgia player in Georgia. He's already got the hometown connection. Pick 16. The Cardinals, I think they will address their offensive line with this pick. And I think they go with Ahmad Membou, offensive tackle out of Missouri. Pick 16. The Bengals. This may be a surprise pick. However, there's uncertainty of whether T. Higgins comes back or not. And we know the history of Ohio State wide receivers having success in the NFL. I can't think of a single Ohio State wide receiver that has not been successful in the NFL in recent memory. Ohio State and LSU wide receivers, they are, in my opinion, the safest picks in all of NFL drafts. And with that being said, the Bengals, they go with the Mika Ibuka out of Ohio State. Pick 18. The Seahawks, they address their needs on defense. And they go with someone that has really having a lot of people talking. Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall. And I do feel like Mike Green, if he was at a Power Four school, I think they would be talking about maybe he'd be the top edge rusher in this class. But given the fact that he was at a group of five school, I do think his stock goes down a little bit. But you have to watch more tape on Mike Green. And maybe the next mock draft he goes up in the top 15. Pick number 19, the Buccaneers. I think they go with Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. And Shamar Stewart, I think, is someone that is going to be somebody who benefits from the combine. Pick number 20, the Broncos. I think that they take the best player on the board at this point. Someone who is really starting to fall. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. I would not necessarily be surprised if Malachi Starks fell out to the top 20, but it could happen. A lot of times we think prospects are top 15, top 10 picks, and they're toward the end of the first round or even in the second round. But Malachi Starks to the Broncos at pick 20. Pick 21, the Steelers. And I think they go with Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. And the reason why I think that is because George Pickens, he doesn't appear to be happy with the Steelers, and he's probably going to request a trade. And we have seen receivers taken the first round in the past that have had immediate success and others not so much. But I think Matthew Golden, he has all the intangibles of having a successful NFL career. Pick 22, the Chargers. I think that they go with a tight end, Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. As we saw Will Dissly have a couple cost mistakes in the playoff game, and it is no question that Justin Herbert is in need of playmakers around him. And I think they go with Colston Loveland. Plus, Jim Harbaugh knows him really well as he was at Michigan while Jim Harbaugh was still there. And I think it is 100% the pick if Colston Loveland is on the board at pick 22. Pick 23. The Packers, I think that they are going to go corner, but not, in all his opinions, the best corner on the board at this point in Benjamin Morrison. But Jahdae Barron out of Texas as the Packers, they improve their secondary with this pick. Pick 24, the Vikings, I do think they follow suit and they go with Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. Pick 25, the Texans, I think go with Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. An improvement to their defense, pairing up Walter Nolan with Will Anderson Jr. The Texans, they get stronger defensively. Pick 26, the Rams. I think at this point, they have to go best player on the board, in my opinion. Someone with a championship pedigree, Jack Sawyer, a leader at Ohio State, someone who knows what it's like to win championships. The Rams are clearly looking to rebuild everything, as was announced yesterday that Cooper Kupp is going to be traded by the Rams in this offseason. Pick 27, I have the Ravens going wide receiver here. And I think they go with Elic Iomanor out of Stanford. Someone who I think is going to be in the first round. I'll be surprised if he isn't taken in round one. As the game that sticks out to me the most out of Iomanor is against Colorado in 2023, where he was a major difference maker in Stanford's come from behind win. I believe they were down 29 to nothing. But then Iomanor, he stepped up and he led Stanford to the upset victory in overtime. Pick 28. I think the Lions, they simply just go best player on the board. Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. We have seen them take Michigan prospects before. Aiden Hutchinson and now Kenneth Grant in this mock draft. The Commanders are now on the clock, and they go with Nick Scorton, edge rusher of Texas A&M. Nick Scorton, somebody that I would not be surprised if he went down toward the end of the first round, but I think this would be a great fit for Nick Scorton. As Nick Scorton, I feel like pick 29 would be a steal for whoever gets him at that point. If he gets past top 15, then he's a steal at this point. Pick 30, the Bills, they go with Siobhan Revel, cornerback out of East Carolina. And Siobhan Revel is someone that I had higher originally, but I saw him as a first rounder, and I think it's kind of like the fact that he's not at a Power Four school, I think his draft stock gets looked at a bit differently. But I think the Bills would that'd be a smart pick for them. Now, pick 31 and 32. The sites, of course, they have Eagles pick 31 because they predict the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, but the Eagles and Chiefs, they have different agendas at this point. The Eagles, I think they invest in an edge rusher. They go with Princely Umanmian out of Ole Miss. And the Chiefs, they go with Gray Zabel, tackle of North Dakota State. And that will do it for my first NFL mock draft of the season. Comment your thoughts down below, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.